So AI in the business world, huh? It's everywhere these days. It feels like it's more than just a buzzword, though, you know? You sent over some notes about AI's impact, and it's got me thinking it's like changing everything.
It is. It's really incredible how much it's transforming businesses. I
Yeah.
mean, everything from a company's internal workings, like you said, even how they connect with customers, it's really a huge shift.
Right. It's total transformation.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we dive into the business side of things, let's talk about what AI actually is. That article you shared, What is AI? It breaks it down pretty well.
Yeah, it really does. It gets to the core of it. It's essentially um, where we're talking about machines being able to kind of like mimic human intelligence.
Okay, so they can learn from data, then use what they've learned to make decisions.
Exactly. And the most interesting part is they even get better over time. They learn and adapt, just like we do.
That's both impressive and a little unnerving, to be honest. So instead of just following, a set of instructions that they're programmed with, they can actually problem solve and figure things out on their own.
Exactly. It's like, think about it this way. It's like the difference between a calculator and a really, really bright intern.
Okay, I like that. The calculator just does what you tell it, but an intern can learn and grow.
Precisely. They take in information, they adapt, they get better at their job over time.
So that's AI. Got it. Now, this article uses a few terms that I'm not super familiar with, like machine learning. I hear that one all the time, but what does it actually mean?
Okay, so imagine you're on Netflix, right? Yeah, recommending shows to you. That's machine learning in action. The system is analyzing your viewing history, like what you've watched and enjoyed. And it uses that to figure out what you might like to watch next.
So it's all those eerily accurate recommendations.
Exactly. It's algorithms, which are basically like data recipes that are constantly learning from data and getting better at predicting what you want.
Okay, that makes sense. So that's how I ended up watching that entire season. It all makes sense now. What about natural language processing? That sounds complicated.
It's actually simpler than it sounds. It's basically how machines understand what we're saying and can respond to us in a way that makes sense.
So like Siri or Alexa.
Exactly. You can ask them a question, and they understand you. They process your language and respond.
That's pretty amazing when you think about it. So we've got AI learning from data, understanding us when we talk. What else can it do?
Well, for example, there's computer vision.
Computer vision.
Yeah, it's like giving machines the ability to see and understand images.
Oh, wow. Like, how does that work?
So basically, they can analyze images and actually, like, see them, just like we do.
That's mind-blowing. So they're not just processing numbers and words, they can understand visual information too.
Exactly, and that opens up all sorts of possibilities. We're talking self-driving cars, medical diagnoses, all because machines can now see.
That's wild. So we've got these different parts of AI, each with its own, like, superpower. But how does all of this actually play out in the real world? Like, what about in the business world specifically?
That's where it gets really exciting. We're seeing AI being used in ways that are completely transforming how businesses operate. I mean, across industries, it's really remarkable.
Yeah, and those super specific product recommendations we were talking about, that's AI in action right there.
Okay, yeah, those are pretty impressive. But what about for businesses that aren't selling things directly to people? What's AI doing for them?
It goes way beyond retail, Take manufacturing, for example. AI can actually predict when a machine needs maintenance.
Really? So like before it breaks down?
Exactly. It's all about anticipating problems before they even happen. It's called predictive maintenance.
That sounds incredibly useful. How does that work? So you've got sensors on machines, right? And they're collecting data, like all the time, about how the machine's performing, any wear and tear. And then AI steps in and analyzes all that data. Basically, it looks for patterns that might signal a future problem.
So instead of just waiting for something to break, they can catch it early on.
Exactly. And that means less downtime, fewer disruptions. It saves companies a ton of time and money in the long run.
That's amazing. AI really is about working smarter, not harder, huh? But this all sounds a little, I don't know, almost too good to be true. Are there any downsides to all of this? Like, the article mentions some challenges with using AI.
You're right, it's not without its challenges. One of the big ones is data quality. I mean, AI systems, they're only as good as the data we feed them.
Right, so if the data's messed up, the AI won't be reliable.
Precisely. It's like that old saying, garbage in, garbage out, you know?
You need good ingredients to get a good result. Makes sense.
Exactly. And that kind of leads to another point, which is the whole ethical side of AI.
Yeah.
As this technology gets more powerful, more sophisticated, we need to be really careful about how it's developed and used.
So it's not just about what we can do with AI, it's about what we should do with it.
100%. AI has incredible potential for good, but like any powerful tool, we need to use it responsibly. We have to think about the impact it could have, the potential consequences, both good and bad. We can't just blindly forge ahead. We need to be thoughtful and deliberate about every step we take.
That's a really important point. It's like with any new technology, there's always that balance between progress and responsibility.
Absolutely. Yeah. We can't let the excitement of what's possible overshadow the need for careful consideration and, ethical development.
This deep dive has been really eye-opening. AI's impact on business is undeniable at this point, and it really feels like we're just scratching the surface.
Oh, absolutely. This is just the beginning. AI is going to continue to evolve at an incredible pace, and we can expect to see even more groundbreaking applications in the years to come. I mean, who knows what the future holds, right? It's both exciting and a little daunting.
Right. It's like we're living in the future, but it's happening right now. So, for our listeners out there who are trying to keep up with all of this, what are some key takeaways they can use to, make sense of AI in the business world? So much to unpack here. We've got like, what AI is, how it works, what it's doing in the real world. For someone who's just now tuning into this whole AI thing, what's the key takeaway? What do they really need to understand about AI and business?
I think, honestly, the most important thing to remember is that AI isn't some, futuristic fantasy anymore. It's here, it's happening now, and it's changing how businesses work at, every single level.
Yeah, it's not science fiction. It's really happening.
Exactly. And just like any powerful tool, it comes with, huge potential, but also some risks. I think it's all about balance, recognizing both the good and the bad. We have to be, cautious, but also open to the possibilities.
So how do we find that balance? How do we prepare for this future where AI is like everywhere?
Knowledge is key. I mean, the more people understand about AI, what it can do, what it can't do, the better equipped we'll be to use it effectively and responsibly.
So no more sticking our heads in the sand.
Nope. AI is not going anywhere. We can't just ignore it and hope it goes away. It's about understanding it, embracing the good parts, and figuring out how to work with it.
Makes sense. But it's a lot, Like, where do we even begin to integrate this technology?
I'd say start by looking at your own industry, even your own job. Are there places where AI could help? Maybe tasks that could be automated, processes that could be more efficient.
So instead of thinking of AI as a threat, think of it as a partner.
Right. AI can do amazing things, but it can't replace human ingenuity. It's about using AI to enhance what we already do.
This has been an incredible deep dive. AI is definitely here to stay. Any final thoughts for our listeners as they, process all of this?
Just be aware. Pay attention to how AI is already part of your life, even in small ways. It's only going to get more integrated into our world. So stay curious, keep learning, keep asking questions.
Great advice. Well, who knows? Maybe we'll have to revisit this topic in a few years and see what's changed.
I think it's a safe bet. AI is always evolving. I'm excited to see what the future holds.